All right, so today we're going to make the most of our holiday paper, and we're going to make 18 Christmas cards in a matter of a few minutes. So I've got my Sketch and Shine Pattern Paper Picks Special Edition Christmas Edition number 1. You can find this on my blog. We're going to use this to make our Christmas cards, and the whole point is to make the most of your pattern paper. So I've got 2 sheets of 12 by 12 pattern paper. This came from a pack from Michael's. It's called the Classic Christmas Noel, or I guess it's just Classic Christmas. So that's the paper we're going to use today. I've got 2 sheets of it. I've got some cardstock you're going to need along with your Sketch and Shine. You need 18 card bases because this makes 18 cards. So you're going to need 9 sheets of your card-based cardstock, and then you're going to need 2 1/4 sheets of just solid cardstock for your matte layers, and then 3/4 of a sheet for the other matte layers on pattern paper 2. All right, so I'm going to move this to the side. Also, on my templates, I also have the supplies you need, dimensions, that if you want to just make a single card, and then you have the cutting guides on the back. So there's that. So you're going to need a paper trimmer. So let's move this out of the way. All right, this paper has a little piece at the top, so you're going to need to cut that off. Let's open our paper trimmer up. And that's the first thing I'm going to do, is I'm going to just trim that little 1/2 inch piece off. So I'll go ahead and do that for both pieces. There we go. And when you're picking your paper, you want to pick a bold pattern and then a more subtle pattern to go with it. You don't really want this 2 bold patterns together. All right, we're going to start with our first piece. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut on the 2.5 inch side, on the 12 inch side. So if you got a directional pattern, pick your direction. We're going to cut it 2.5 inches. We got it in my trimmer, and I'm just going to slide up. So you're going to cut 2.5 by 12. You're going to need 3 of those. You just want to get it right up to the line. So I'm going to go ahead and do our other piece that same way. Yes, we'll go ahead and cut our 2.5 by 12 pieces. All right, that is going to leave you with these remaining, and these will be the rest of our pieces. All right, so we'll start by making our next cut. We're going to take our 2.5 inch piece, 2.5 by 12 inch pieces, and we're going to cut those down, excuse me, to 4 1/4. 4 1/4. Actually, I lie. It's 2 1/4 by 2.5 by 4. So we will cut another. All right. So again, it's 2.5 by 4. So you want 3 pieces from each piece of this paper. Alright, there's that. Our next cut is we're going to take our leftover pieces and we're going to cut these down, excuse me, to 3/4 inch strips by 3 3/4. So we're going to make our first cut at 3 3/4. These pieces you could use for embellishing the inside. You can just cut them down and embellish the inside, but that's really the only scrap you have. It's those two pieces. Alright, now we're going to take and we are going to cut these down at 3/4 inch. So we're going to come over to our 3/4 inch mark here, and I'm just going to cut those. Alright, we're going to go ahead and cut our card base and our mats. So what I like to do is I like to take my card base, score it in half, whichever way I'm going to do it. Take my bone folder, go ahead and fold my cardstocks in half. And I'm going to take and put it where I want it cut. We're doing top folding, so we're going to cut it 4 1/4. And that gives me my 2 card bases. Now for our mats, we're going to cut 2 pieces of cardstock, of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. We're going to cut these at 1 by 4 and 4 1/4 by 2 1/2. So we're going to cut 2 of these in half at 4 1/4. And then off of our other sheet, since we got 3 sheets, we're going to cut a 2 1/2 inches off of this one. And that will give me my mat layers for this. Alright, so for my third piece, you're going to cut 2 3/4 inches off of the 8.5 inch side, and that will give us our 1/4 inch piece for the other, and then we'll use this for the rest of this for our mats for these. Alright, so we're going to cut this first piece. We'll cut this down at 4 1/4. Gives us our 2 mat layers. And then these we'll just cut down at 2 1/4. Or 2 3/4, I'm sorry. So it gives us 8 from a sheet. Okay, so there's our mat layers for these pieces. Now we're going to take this and we're going to cut it in half. Actually, we're going to cut it at 4. Cut them at 4. And then we're going to cut this one at 4. So the only scrap from your cardstock you have left is this little 1/4-inch piece right there. All right, now we're going to take these, pull that arm back out, and we're going to cut these at 1 inches. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to match my layers before I group them. So I'm going to slide these out of the way, and I'm going to take my first stack here and my first set of designer series paper, and I will go ahead and just layer those together. All right, so now since all of our pieces are matted together, I did that off camera. We are going to match these up, and we're going to put them on a card. Now, like I like to do is I like to take one of this pattern and match them with this, and this pattern with that. That way they each look a little bit different. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to take one of those, two of those, stack them up, and then I'm going to go through this and continue that. Now, since all of our pieces are matted together, we can add them to our card bases. And according to our sketch, we need one up here, one down here, and then we need our centerpiece. And we're going over to the side on both ends. All right, this is our last card. And you can notice, if you've already noticed, I've been lining them up on my grid mat and then putting that part on top. Now at this point, you have to make your decision on how you want to finish off your cards. You can either stamp a sentiment somewhere on your card, or you could use die cut sentiments. But there's my 18 Christmas cards. We are going to pull in my magic blue box, and we're going to add Christmas sentiments from here. And these are just die cuts that I have already made and had in this box so that I could do just add them to Christmas cards. That's a good way to just get some quick cards done. You just have your sentiments already die cut if you're going to use die cut sentiments, and have them ready to go. I just did these several months ago, and I just had them stored for this. It's probably my favorite. I just think it's funny. And then I could add embellishments to these if I wanted to. I personally like with Christmas cards to keep them pretty simple and just add a sentiment, no real embellishments, because that way you don't add any bulk to your cards. And you can just pop them in the mail with a stamp. And I just cut these out using my Cricut. Just typed them in and let the Cricut cut them all out. And then I had put the offset on there, so I had the shadow layer. I set it one night and just glued them together. While watching a TV show. And see, for this one, I'll just put a Merry Christmas on the inside or whatever the sentiment is. And I just put them randomly around the card where I think they are going to look the best. Let's see what else we got here. And I still have some sentiments that I can use. Alright, so here are our 18 Christmas cards using the Sketch and Shine Pattern Paper Picks Special Christmas Edition number 1. I have 3 more coming to share with y'all in the next few in this holiday card series. So there's 18 Christmas cards that you can make easily using your pattern paper and Bust That Stash. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a lovely day. Love you guys. Bye.